Hi, dear children. Welcome to Social Science 8th Standard online class. Today, we will discuss about the second chapter of Political Science, that is Public Administration. In this chapter, Public Administration, you will learn importance of public administration and meaning, scope of public administration, meaning of recruitment and its methods, meaning of training and its methods, Union Public Service Commission, Karnataka Public Service Commission, Central Government Secretariat, State Government Secretariat, Law and Order. Public Administration. Public administration has become more important as the modern society is undergoing complex and swift changes. Public administration plays an important role in the human society. As a subject, public administration evolved in United States of America. Woodrow Wilson, who was the president of USA, is called as the father of public administration because of his contributions. Public administration is a specific field of study. The word public denotes government. Alexander Hamilton used the word public administration for the first time in 1812. Let us learn the definitions of public administration. According to Woodrow Wilson, the holistic and orderly implementation of law is public administration. According to Pfiffner, the consolidation of community initiatives in implementing public policies is public administration. According to Lothar Gulick, public administration is related to the executive of the government. In nutshell, public administration is related to the total functioning of the government. Public administration is the part of the government that runs day-to-day functioning of the state. Importance of public administration. As the state is evolving from protective state to welfare state and from welfare state to functioning state, the importance of public administration is becoming more important. As a result, the scope of public administration is enlarging. The holistic development of human society and the survival of civic society depend on effective public administration. The life cycle of human beings depends on public administration. It is the heart of a state. There is no state without public administration. Hence, modern state is called as administrative state. The first importance of public administration is public administration is the pillar of the government. A state can exist without legislature and judiciary, but no state can exist without executive. According to Paul Henson Appleby, without administration, a government is only a meaningless charter. Public administration serve various functions in the interest of the public. Public administration caters to a human being beginning from his womb to tomb. It maintains civil order and peace by protecting the life and property of citizens. It takes care of providing basic facilities, education, employment opportunities, protect the state and ensure economic equality. Implementation of law and policies. Public administration regulates the activities of people by implementing law and policies. If the public administration does not function well, the policies remain only on the paper. Necessary to protect social security. Public administration functions as a tool of social security. Even though the government change, public administration remain constant and ensures stability to administration. This ensures smooth functioning of administration. In the absence of good public administration, a strong state also fail. The destruction of the ancient Roman Empire is a good example for this. Public administration ensures unity and harmony in society by solving the problems of society. Support legislature and executive. The organ of government which make rules and regulations is called legislature. Public administration aids to the implementation of policies formed by the legislature. It also provides inputs in the form of statistics and suggestions for the formation of policies by the government. Thus, public administration performs major roles not only in the implementation of public policy but also in its planning. Scope of public administration. There is disagreement among the thinkers with regard to the scope of public administration. Experts like Woodrow Wilson and L.D. White argue that public administration has a wider scope. According to them, public administration includes all the three pillars of administration. They are legislature, executive and judiciary. According to Luther Gulick, and Simon, public administration has a narrow scope. According to them, public administration's scope is limited to the executive activities of the government. Luther Gulick explains the scope of public administration through English letters P, O, S, D, C, O, R, B. Each letter explains the functions of public administration. Planning. Planning any agenda that the government machinery seek to implement by working on the methods of implementation. Organization. Forming various departments and structures like division, subdivision, and other administrative structures, and entrusting roles and responsibilities for each for the achievements of desired goal. Staffing. Recruiting and training the needed staff. It also includes the framing of rules and regulations of civil service. Direction. Providing direction and orders to the various departments. Coordination. Facilitating better interaction between various departments by resolving conflict by converging their functions. Reporting. Reporting by the officials to their senior officers on the functions various departments. Submitting reports to the legislature by conducting research, documentation and investigation. Budgeting. Managing the financial planning, expenses and income, calculation and auditing. Recruitment and training. The process of searching eligible candidates for the civil service and motivating them to compete for the civil services is called recruitment. An efficient administration is based on efficient recruitment process. If an efficient, honest and eligible person is selected to civil service, the person delivers good public service through his creativity, intelligence and positive behavior. If the recruitment process is more scientific and efficient, public administration becomes more efficient by having efficient civil servants. Recruitment has a prominent role in the staff administration. According to O.G. Stahl, recruitment is the base of staff structure. Methods of recruitment. According to staff administration experts, there are two types of recruitment. They are direct recruitment or external recruitment and internal recruitment or recruitment by promotion. Direct recruitment. Direct recruitment is the most popular and scientific method of recruitment. Recruiting eligible candidates through competitive examination in a fixed pattern is called direct recruitment. The candidates need to have some general qualification and specific qualification to enter into the service through direct recruitment. Internal recruitment. Selecting the eligible in-service personnel to higher positions is called as internal recruitment. Most of the countries have adopted this method. Training. The efficiency of civil service personnel depends on the quality of the training received. As the modern administrative functions are complex in nature, the personnel need to undergo proper training to know and manage the administrative functions. Training has a special place in public administration. Types of training. Training is divided into 5 types based on the method, duration, level of training, aim of training, and institution providing the training. The types of training are formal and informal training. Formal training is a training that is received by the employee which is carefully planned in advance. This training is provided under the supervision of the experts. Informal training means the training that an employee gains while doing his duty. An employee receives this training during his day-to-day execution of his duties. Pre-service and post-beginning of service training. Pre-service training prepares the future employees for the civil service. Post-beginning of service training is provided to those who have been selected to specific post. This training aims at imparting better skills and efficiency. Short-term and long-term training. Short-term training is of 4 to 6 week duration. The long-term training is continuous in nature and its duration would be 1 or 2 years. Departmental and Central Institute training. The training provided by specific department for the candidates selected for it is called as departmental training. Training provided by a central government institution is called Central Institutes training. Skill training and background training. A training aiming at increasing the skill of the person is called skill training. A training that is aimed at providing general awareness is called background training.